January 16th through the 19th. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Where I Come From, where the only requirement is to be where I come from. You know what? Let me change seats because I sit high on this one.
Really? Okay.
Because I look way bigger than you.
Okay.
Like, way bigger. This is another reason why I like to pre-record mine because I still have to be a producer. So
Okay, that makes sense.
I can still go produce.
It's my mic. Yeah.
Oh, I really make you look small.
Hey, that means I'm shrinking.
I make you look tiny. Tashima, how tall are you?
3.5.
Okay, this makes sense.
Don't
then.
forget the half.
Don't forget the half. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Where I Come From, where the only requirement is to be where I come from. It is I, Mr. Tone Deaf, aka Coach Tony, back in the building on this beautiful day here as we kick off 2026. As you know, I am now starting season 9 of Where I Come From. And if you've been paying attention to anything that I've been doing over the course of the last couple of months, you notice I've been doing a major rebranding. Last time I recorded, I actually sat down with Reese, and I was supposed to have been going to get my insurance license, and I was supposed to have been going to get my real estate license. That is actually going to be my major goal for 2026 this year. I just didn't do it back then because your boy decided to be a life coach instead. So I actually went on ahead and pulled the trigger on getting my coaching license. I'm actually internationally certified. So I'm not just anybody out here, because I'm legitimately certified to do that. And I am your business entrepreneur and career development coach. So if you are looking at trying to advance in your current career field and you need to know what you need to do to make yourself a better version of you, so you stand out in the crowd of applicants who are also trying to go for the same position, or you're an entrepreneur who recently started your business within the last 3 years and you want to not be one of those statistics that don't make it past 5, go ahead and go to snacoaching.com. Just type in SNA coaching, will automatically show up, and book one of my consultations. I'll get you together. You know, that's what I do. But I am joined here today by a very special young lady. If you have watched majority of the shows on TDR over the course of the last couple of years, you have seen her in one shape or form. She actually was a guest earlier last year on Where I Come From, as we talked about Fight AAA.
Yes.
And her brand, as she is on her sobriety journey.
Yes.
Since then, she has hit over 1,000 days sober. Go ahead and clap it up for her. In regards to that, I am beyond proud of her. I am joined by Miss Tashima Dean. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm black. I am definitely black.
I'm so glad that you're black.
I'm so glad I'm black too, because being black is lit. Being black is lit.
Definitely dope.
But since we last talked, since we last talked on air, because me and you, we're still really good friends, so we talk and we be outside running into each other and stuff. Outside. How's your sobriety journey been for you lately?
It's been challenging.
I was getting ready to ask that.
It has been challenging. I am still sober.
As you should be.
I'm still sober. The challenges come with a lot of just having to be able to sit in my emotions, deal with stuff, I've been outside, so
Yes.
we
We have been on wine trains.
yeah,
She brought her own non-alcoholic wine
yes,
for
I
that one.
did.
That is when I knew this girl was not, even though the 1,000 days should have proved that you was serious about this. But
Mhm.
when you pull it up to an event that is dedicated to basically getting drunk with your own stuff, it's like, look, I want to party, but I don't want to touch that over there because I got this goal I'm going on. And you bring your own 2 bottles. And when we were drinking the whites, you grabbed that 1 bottle that was the white version of it. And
It
then we
was
were
so
drinking dark.
difficult.
It
It
was
was challenging. Like I literally, my anxiety was beating my tail. Like it was. I wanted to experience it because I wanted to see if I can do it. So it was
okay.
a challenge, of course. But with the wine glasses being passed around and then everybody is pouring. I'm like, hold on, let me make sure I pour my non-alcoholic because I didn't want to make a
So
mistake and
let
sip
me let me ask you
anything.
this question.
Hmm.
What what is it that's really drawing you to possibly step over the line? Because if you were to, let's just say for an example, give the bartender or the server your non-alcoholic wine and they pour yours into the cup, you could still have the same experience. But what made you want to try the actual wines in those situations?
So do you mean for the wine train?
Yeah, I'm gonna use the wine train
The
for an
wine
example.
train. Um, for one, I wanted to be with my friends.
You were
So
with your
yes, I
friends.
wanted to be with my
I was
friends.
looking good.
Yes.
I just want y'all to understand this is how dope I am. It was only like 2 guys and then like a train full of women,
Yeah,
a
but
train full
we
of
had a
beautiful
good
women. We
time
had a
though.
great
We had
time.
a good time.
So y'all got to start doing new stuff. Stop doing the same thing all the time. If you see something different and you be like,
Hmm.
just sign up and do it. You never know.
Right. So I thought so for me I wanted to see if I can do it. Then I
Okay.
wanted to prove something not only to myself but to you all too.
Okay.
And I'll never do it again
Why?
just because I think trying to stay on top of my sobriety and making sure I had a non-alcoholic, my glass filled at all times when people were coming around, that was challenging.
So this is what I want you to do. And this is what I want you to put in your back of your head. You have a community. Do
Hmm.
you think that you was gonna be able to sit across the table from me and grab a different one? I would have slapped that out your hand.
Well, I wouldn't have drank the wine. I think it was the fact of like accidentally doing it.
I
Like,
would I would I wouldn't have let you.
and I want to share that story. We have a story actually from Brownstone.
Right.
And I don't really want to say the name. You want to cut
Don't say the name.
that? Okay, okay.
But no, the Browns. It's everybody who knows me knows where we at anyway. So even if you say
Right.
a bar that we go to off,
Yeah.
everybody knows anyway.
Right. So I'll share about that story later.
Right.
I'll share
I mean,
about
I know what it is, but
yeah.
even then, I'm proud of you because you even knew like something ain't right.
Yeah.
And the people you had around you, we
Hmm.
immediately, like, oh, hold on, let's fix
Yeah.
this situation asapishly. Because the one thing I love about community,
Hmm.
especially our community, like the people that we genuinely are tied to, we support each other in everything. And anytime you post anything about
Hmm.
sobriety or mocktails or events or dry crawls, which I'm actually going to be upset that you're not going to be here for the dry crawl this year because I actually had it on my schedule to go do the dry crawl with
That's
you.
okay though, because we can do a dry crawl whenever. We don't just
I
have to do
know.
it for dry January. We
I
can,
just it's,
pull one out.
that was going to be my outside event
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm only outside once a month now.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I was outside too much. I was
Okay.
outside from like October to December. And
Listen,
that, ooh, child, your boy
we
realized he ain't young.
we had a really good
We did.
time,
We had a
and
good time.
I think for me, what it taught me that you can never get too comfortable in your sobriety.
Ooh.
And for me, when we went and celebrated, because like Brownstone has been one of those establishments that I frequent at most of the
You
time,
do.
and everybody know me. They know my situation and everything, and they treat me like family. Um, so they know what I drink. I'm typically what I do is I get acquainted with my bartenders.
Right.
I let my bartender know like, hey, I don't drink. This is what I'm going to be drinking for the night. I want you to pour my drinks.
Right.
This particular evening, we were having fun. We were having a good time.
We were having a great
and
time.
I seen one of the waitresses. I've never seen her before, but it didn't dawn on me that she didn't really know the sobriety language, you know. So when I asked for a non-alcoholic glass of wine, you know, I had to keep repeating myself because I'm thinking that it's registering to her, and she's like, oh, okay. But then she brought back this glass, and I'm like, oh, this look different. But then again, I'm comfortable.
Right.
So then I'm smelling it, and I'm like, this don't look right, and it don't smell right. And then I don't know why, you know, I did take a little sip. I'm just gonna be honest. I took a little
that
sip.
Don't count.
It don't count.
Don't count.
And I was like, this is definitely alcohol. So I immediately took it to the bar, and I asked one of the bartenders that know me, and I'm like, hey, did you pour this? He was like, this was not supposed to be for you. And I said, well, it was for me. He immediately took it out of my hand, poured it out, and poured me what I normally drink. Right. And then he proceeded to talk to the waitress, and she was upset, but I told her it wasn't her fault, because for me, it's like I have to make sure that I continue to have ownership in my sobriety, and I cannot lose sight of that, no matter where I'm at.
You can't.
You know what I mean? And I know sometimes the fun can get the fun and everything, but I still have to be on top of that. So that was a lesson for me, to still make sure that I utilize my tools, that I still ensure that, you know, I go and I communicate with my bartender, that, you know, that we're having that one-on-one, you know, exchange.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because anything can happen, you know.
And that's why it's important to have your community and your home base where everybody knows. Like,
exactly.
I do business with a lot of people, but let's use Brownstone for an example. Brownstone is my home base. So it doesn't matter where I decide to go. At the end of the day, I know that if I just want to feel safe, because I'm usually the protector in most situations. Like, I'm the individual who throws the kickback to create the safe space for other people. I'm the individual who, when we're out with a group of us, I'm making sure that the environment is good, the scene is good. I'm keeping tabs on the door. Like, I'm always the one that be the protector. I am now at that space that when I go into Brownstone, I'll sit with my back to the door. I don't care, because I know who's already guarding the door that day.
Exactly.
I don't have to wonder, is my drink going to be weak or is my drink going to be strong, because they know exactly what I already drink and how it needs to be. I'm there enough that I know what my bill is going to be like on a Wednesday, what my bill is going to be like on a Friday, what my bill is going to be like on a Sunday. Some odd reason they're not the same numbers, but that's between me and them. But that's a good thing. So if I only got $70 in my spending account that day, I might not go on Friday. I might go on Wednesday instead, because it's that safe space. And more importantly for you, they know, like, when you walk in the door, okay, don't let nothing go over there. And it's not more so we don't want to lose a customer or we don't want you to break your sobriety. No, they don't want to lose that trust that they have created, knowing that you could come here and have a good time, whether you're drinking on something with or without alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And they also have a nice non-alcoholic beverage menu now, along with Tropic. Tropic does too. Tropic has one for a long time now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
shout out to Hyacinth. Hyacinth actually has a nice conglomerate of things, and she is very women empowering. In regards to it, I respect everything she has going on.
I'm actually having my send off.
I was getting ready to say that I'll be there
Friday.
I'll be there Friday.
Yes.
I might be a little late because I got a recording to do, but you know, I definitely have to pull up because you can't leave, and I got to mess with my homie Keisha.
Right.
Got to mess with my homie real quickly. But that's not the only thing I've seen in regards to you this year. I seen you work. I seen you work. I seen you do a presentation. I seen you command the room. What was that event?
So that was the Recovery Resilience workshop that I facilitated.
Yes,
and it was a 2-part workshop. And the first part went very well.
It did.
I mean, I was on top of it. And the second part didn't really, I don't feel that I did well. However, I did utilize what I was experiencing at that moment to kind of navigate throughout the workshop. So I was experiencing severe anxiety at that moment. It was the day I didn't realize it, but it was the day that my dad passed.
Was that the one I came to, or was
it? Was no, he came to the first one.
Okay,
it was the second one, and I didn't know why I was like just so anxious
because I wasn't there.
And that could be
You
right.
wasn't there,
and I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on with me emotionally. And then it was just a lot going on because I was also preparing for another event. And then it wasn't a lot of people in the seats, but I know that it was a lot going on in the city too. We had like murder after murder after. It was a lot going on.
A lot of people didn't want to be outside.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. So it was challenging, but I was able to speak to that in action. So I was able to show what it looks like when I am combating like my anxiety, and also talk through the tools that I utilize to be able to get through that moment. And it actually made a huge difference, because people were able to see it in real action.
Okay. So you have been all over TDR, and you have done multiple shows here, whether you've been on Lupus Has No Phase, Love, Strength and Love, Minding My Own, Where I Come From. Yes. You've been here for a lot of shows. So we're going to do what I want to call this particular episode is your reflection episode.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some questions based off of previous shows you've done, and we want to see how your answers are now. Okay. So a while ago, you mentioned that you don't mind being the minority in a conversation to bring an open-minded perspective. When was the last time you stood your ground in a room where everyone else didn't agree with you?
When was the last time?
So when was the last time you was the big voice?
It's been a lot lately.
That's why these questions are for a reason. I've been around you enough to know these questions are all asked for a reason.
Yeah, I had an interview, and I actually got the job.
I was like, is this the interview?
Yeah,
we'll talk about that at the end.
The interview, and I wanted to, when it comes to the government, it's really hard. Like you really can't talk about like your spirituality and God and all of that. And God has been a tremendous like part of my life in the transition that I've been going through. And for some reason, I felt compelled to talk about my relationship with God and how He has molded me, within this season. And I'm sitting across from all of these people who may not even believe, and just so happened I just started to share my faith, and I just I shared, and I didn't really care about the whole the optics of you can't talk about this. I felt compelled, and I felt empowered, and just so happened I landed the job. So I think that was one of the moments. And then I would say another one would be let's see, when we were on a wine train.
Okay.
When we were on a wine train, and people kept coming around, and they're asking, "Hey, you want another refill?" Everybody else is getting their glasses filled, and I'm like, "No, I'm okay." I'm pouring my glass, and of course, there's been like other things. I will say this: the mindset in Milwaukee when it comes to people, individuals, is very stagnant.
Ooh, yes.
And I think a lot of people don't want to own up to the fact that most of the time you are dealt the same cards as the person next to you, but you just choose a different route. And that's one of the things that I've been on. Like I've been talking about freely, because we can get out of the poverty mindset.
Right.
We can change our mindset. We can change things in our lives. Our lives can be better, but a lot of us are so stuck in our own way, and we're operating with fear that we don't want to make the change. And that's one of the major things that I see in Milwaukee.
And I'm glad you bring that up. Like the poverty mindset to me has always been like so funny, because I grew up on 10th and Monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 5'3", 206 for life. That's actually why me and Mikhail are so tight.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my business bestie.
Love her.
Shout out to my business bestie.
Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, or even as a teenager, I wasn't poor.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in the ghetto. I just happened to live on the north side.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to be able to walk to North Division when I went to school. But I never looked at myself as being poor. I never looked at myself as being broke because one, every single car that my family had, we owned.
Mm-hmm.
My granddad would leave. When my uncle come back, we got a new car.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 or 6 cars parked on the side of the house. We all knew how to fix on cars. So we never didn't have to go without. My granny taught every last one of us how to cook, how to clean, how to fish. We knew how to do everything. So we were very self-sufficient. I never not had a bunch of stuff under my Christmas tree. I never not had clothes on my back and shoes on my feet. Now, they may not have been the shoes that everybody else was sporting, but they were shoes that I wanted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we all knew how to get out and get something. We were all natural hustlers. So the poverty mindset is something that you instill on yourself because you want to be handed everything and you feel entitled that you're supposed to have it. I've never been like that. I could lose my job. I will lay on the floor. I'll crash out for about 5 minutes and then I'll figure it out. You know, I've always been like that, to the point where my friends would be like, damn, Tone, you'll never stay at the same job too long. Why should I? I want better. I want more. I know what kind of job I'm supposed to be. I'm never going to be stagnant unless being stagnant is a choice I'm making to benefit what I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely understand that. You know, and I had a completely different upbringing. You know,
okay.
I lived in poverty. You know, we were on welfare. You know, my parents were.
I miss good welfare. I miss block cheese welfare. This new welfare is wild, but old school welfare.
So many stipulations.
Like old school welfare
can't make
was
too
phenomenal.
much. Can't spend it on what you want to spend it on. No
Paper
more.
food stamps was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you would find them like just random places.
Right.
You know, walk into the store like,
like somebody dropped a book. Oh snap! It's $200 in here.
Right. Yes.
Like paper welfare was the shit.
Yeah, and I experienced a lot of trauma growing up, and I'm the oldest of 6.
What? I never knew that.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 6.
I didn't know it was 5 more of you. That's a lot.
And I really had to I lived a life where I really had to change my mindset to be able to change my circumstances because I literally would wake up to a lot of chaos. You know, I would go to sleep to chaos. I was around it. You know, thank God for my aunt Cheryl. She would come and pick me up for different breaks and things and kind of show me something different.
Right.
So that's where I get the, you know, conservative part, you know, side of me is from her.
Right.
And she showed me a lot of different things that I would have never seen in, you know, growing up in Hillside, you know.
You was in Hillside?
I grew up in Hillside, yes.
I was in that part.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, Hillside, and then we moved to 42nd and Hour. And so
was in Hillside.
So I had to completely, literally, like, always change my mindset. You know, when I was in school, I didn't want to run with the crowd. You know, people were doing this and doing that. I always did my own thing. You know, I always wanted to go after something different. And even in high school, the same thing. You know,
where'd you go to high school at?
So I went to Marshall my freshman year, and then I graduated from Juneau.
I'm sorry to hear that, first of all.
Listen, but Juneau.
What year you graduated?
04.
Okay.
04.
Okay, my boy was gone by then anyway. He was probably gone when you was a freshman. So.
Yeah, and I went to Marshall. Yeah, I went to Marshall my freshman year.
I went to Marshall for you. You know, let me not lie like that. My sister went to Marshall. I skipped into Marshall. I would literally leave North Division and somehow I end up at Marshall.
Marshall was a bad school.
The reason why Marshall had to get a whole new Eagle was because me and my friends pushed the Eagle off the roof.
Wow.
That's why that Eagle y'all see there is not the original Eagle.
Now, do they know that? Are you confessing?
Oh, they knew that.
Oh, okay.
Because my sister used to always get on me. I can't believe you broke it. You was just in my school, just walking around.
Wow.
That's blaming it on security. I'm glad I wasn't trying to murder nobody, or else y'all just didn't care.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? And I get that. Fun fact: I lived a duality myself. Anybody who knows me, it's easy for them to see because Tone and Tony and Antonio are three completely different people. But growing up, I lived a duality too. Straight in the streets, went to North Division. I was a nerdy kid who was forced to be ignorant, but I also was an upper bound at UWM. And when I tell you it was night and day, it was two completely different people. And I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for upper bound, this version of me, you wouldn't get. Upper bound allowed me to really just creatively be who I am with no judgments. Matter of fact, they pushed me to be more of a leader and more of an outspoken individual, whereas in my everyday world, I was quiet, I was minimized. My mom ruled with fear. So a lot of times we didn't have a voice. And even if we tried to have a voice, if it was opposite to what she believed, she shut it down. Wow. And that was literally mental health that I had to deal with for years. Just talking to my friend Terry not too long ago. And during our conversation, I explained to her, like, my life wasn't what you thought it was. And she was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she just got to explaining different situations and scenarios where you could literally see a shift in my energy and my behavior when it was time to return back to my everyday life. And she was like, it makes so much sense. I told her I'm writing a screenplay based on our upper bound years. It's actually kind of fire.
You should.
It's actually the story. I'm gonna tell you the big twist in the story. I'll tell it to you off air.
Okay.
But because I already dropped my album this year, I've already done a lot of stuff. Did you listen to it?
Yes, okay. I like it. It's
What's your favorite track?
So I don't know. I can't remember the name because it's a lot of tracks.
It's
but it's one of those albums that you can just play straight through and it gets you in the mood.
And that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
My friend, one of my real good friends, she was like, my favorite tracks was the ones that didn't have no words on it. It was just, she was like, you told a story with the music that was just there. And I was like,
I love that. That's why I love jazz so much because of the instruments, and you can kind of just. I don't know.
Did you notice that there's a little riff pattern through all of it? I was listening to my own album the other day. I was like, this riff is in everything. Like, what was I doing? It was like just a riff in everything. But I also got to tell you about that album too. Well, you might already know about that album if you pay attention to it. Okay.
Yeah. We don't talk about it.
You ain't got to talk about it. Everybody know. If you know, you know.
Right.
All right. So in a previous episode that you've done with us, you said that you was a different person than you were 3 years ago. Since then, looking back at the version of you, because this was about 2 years ago, what's the most significant change of your character since then?
Oh, I strive to be me all the time. And when I walk in a room,
hold on, wait a minute. Unapologetically.
Yes, definitely.
Let's make sure you add that part.
Yes. So if I mess up or whatever, I'm not apologizing. I'm showing up. And then when I walk into the room, I make sure that I take up space.
Oh, you do. And you know what? I'm glad you said that. When I first met you, you were very reserved. You were quiet. You were a part of the experience, but you would be one of them people where when I look at old photos, like, oh, Tashima was there. You're not like that no more.
You gonna know I'm there.
You there?
Because I'm gonna hug everybody.
You loud.
I'm loud. Yes.
You're not ghetto loud, but you loud. Like you're present. Like you're present, and I love that for you. So I'm glad that you are now you, because I feel like if you wasn't unapologetically you, you wouldn't be making this big life change you're about to make. And I'm glad. And to me, I'm just happy for you.
Thank you.
I mean, my sisters and them are already there, so it just gives me two reasons. I go visit them, and when I'm sick of my nieces and nephew, I'm going by your house.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. We're gonna be outside.
All right. So, how does the realization that everyone is afraid change your perspective of your own fears? Because I know we were talking off screen about you came to the realization everybody is afraid of something, and fear does control a lot of things. How do you manage your own fears in situations?
It got to be done. So most of the time with me, my fears come from making difficult decisions,
Right.
life changing decisions, and then also the fear of what other people may think.
Okay.
And once I've gotten past that fear of caring about like what people may say, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, I did it, you didn't. Right.
So what's your fear about this current life change?
Not knowing. I don't know what I'm walking into. I'm literally moving by God's hand.
Okay.
Literally. I've never been to Phoenix at all. This will be like when I get there, it's gonna be the first time I've ever
You've never visited or nothing?
Nothing. Definitely a move of faith.
It's going to be a culture shock, number one.
That's what a lot of people said. Yeah.
It's only because we grew up in an area that we experience all 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. So with a season or two being completely taken out of the equation, mm-hmm. and a season or two being amplified, it's going to take you a minute to get adjusted. But once you do, baby, mm-hmm. you ain't never coming back. Listen, you ain't never coming back. I'm not. It's the gift and the curse I hate about going to visit my sisters, or going to visit any of my peoples that are over in the Arizona, New Mexico area, is because the summers can get hot, but it's a dry heat. Mm-hmm. So you got to prepare yourself for what that kind of heat looks like for your body. Okay. And once you get used to that, once you adjust to that, once you figure that out, mm-hmm. it's going to be difficult coming back to an ever-changing climate like here. Yeah. They have days where it gets up to 110. Yeah. And I didn't know thermometers went that high. I stayed in San Antonio when I was in the Air Force, and we had days where even the military be like, look, we shutting down. Go to y'all rooms. Just stay there. Okay. Right. Don't even attempt to come outside for nothing. Matter of fact, we'll bring your food to you. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was just that insane. So once you get used to it, you'll be good.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna document. I do a lot of journaling.
You gotta content create.
Of course.
So I don't expect you to do this, mm-hmm. but one of my friends, one of the show that I used to have here called Speak Your Truth. Mm-hmm. She ended up getting a job opportunity in Dallas, Houston. Okay. One of the two where she ended up moving to Texas. I want to say Houston. And she literally started documenting her transformation, that she started a business called Welcome to Houston, where literally people, as they migrate from wherever they from to Houston, she basically gives you a crash course on how to become a Texan.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty dope. Wow. That's why I keep thinking Houston, because of Houston Texans. Yeah. But yeah, and I used to watch it all the time. She very heavy into the vlogging. Okay. And then she turned it into, like, they used to do the Milwaukee, Texas meetups, where anybody who already lived in Houston that happened to be from Milwaukee, mm-hmm. she would throw little events where everybody would come together. And then if somebody had someone new that was moving to Milwaukee, they would all get together and they will meet them, like your neighbors coming to see you. Yeah. Like, hey, neighbor, welcome to Texas. Mm-hmm. We're from Milwaukee. We know how fucked up snow could be. Okay, we understand Christmas. You're used to seeing this, but this is what we're going to do instead. So I thought it was pretty dope. And I'm not saying you should do that.
Well, I already have some events that I've created already. Okay. So I'm just waiting to kind of, get myself stable down there. And
your first couple events, you got to throw some virtual on there so the people at home can support you. Mm-hmm. So we can support you. We want to see you do big things. Right. All righty. So in one episode, you describe resiliency as getting back up because life doesn't stop. How do you personally distinguish between moving on and fighting back as a setback? Oh, yeah, I did my homework. When you're the producer, you do your homework.
Oh, moving forward.
Moving forward. Because this is what you're doing right now. You're moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. I think when you, for me, when I've seen how good it can be being here,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when I took my hand off the wheel and I allowed God to lead, I could just imagine how good it's going to be moving ahead.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of that I'm experiencing right now, I've prayed for this.
Okay.
You know, and you got to be ready for what you pray for, because God is definitely, if you literally believe and your faith is there 100%, He's going to show up. It's going to show up, and you got to be ready. And I may not be fully like mentally ready, but my heart is there.
The mind will always catch up to the heart. So
Mhm.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Once your feet touch down, your
Mhm.
mind will catch up to what you are,
Mhm.
where you are in regards to that.
Mhm.
Follow-up question.
Mhm.
What are you going to miss from here?
Um,
And not people, because
right.
people can always come to you eventually. But what are you going to miss from Milwaukee?
I think I am going to. What am I going? Oh, I'm going to miss the summers. Like, we have some of the best summers
Me too.
here. The festivals and things. The events. We have some amazing events.
Well, you get to experience new events
Yeah,
there.
right.
So you don't know what they do there. They may get
Yeah.
down in a way you never thought.
Yeah.
They have a very high Hispanic community down there.
Mhm.
So looking to see what they got going
Yeah.
on. Because when they start partying, it may not stop until next month.
Right, right. I think also too, just to see where Milwaukee has changed a lot within the last, I would say, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this because when I stopped in the beginning of my sobriety journey, you could barely see, like, find like, people didn't know what mocktails were.
Right.
A lot of people didn't know what non-alcoholic beverages were, menus or anything. And now we
You just
have,
had to
like,
get a
now
soda.
you see it all over the place now.
You just had to get a soda or a
Right.
Shirley Temple.
Exactly. And I'm seeing the change in our community, and I see people make certain changes for themselves, you
Mhm.
know, and a lot of people are just evolving. So I'm gonna miss um seeing others' journey, like face to face.
Do you think that a lot of this change is due to the fact that everybody that is part of our world, because they're getting old, we're all together going into these different phases? I say this as in, when we were 18 years old, we wasn't caring about what our uncles were doing because they were 30 and 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're no longer the 20 years old, we are the 30-year-olds, we are the 40-year-olds. And with the help of social media, all the 30-year-olds are growing up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All the 40-year-olds are growing up at the same time. Like, it's to the point that we have to remind ourselves sometimes that 50 is where a lot of us are more closer to 50 than we're away from 50.
Exactly.
You know,
yes.
And we now are realizing, fun fact, like, funniest thing in the world. I was on TikTok the other day, and there was a gentleman who looked like a straight up YN. Okay, just looked like a straight up YN, and he was like, "Hey, here's a life hack. Let me teach you about quarter zips." And I'm watching this video, and when I tell you, this young man went from a Kia boy to a distinguished gentleman by just changing his jacket and putting on a pair of khakis. And it was like, that's how I feel like a lot of us are. Like, we are the Nike Tech jogging suits with the Jordans and the waves, to now we have the full-blown beards with the buttoned ups and the quarter zips. We still got our J's on, but we're not buying every single drop. We're just getting the ones we specifically like. And we're going to more grown up events. We're going to fashion shows, and we're going to cookies and cigar events, and we're doing more maturity things. We're putting on a suit that got your ankles out together, and we're coming up with it together. And I'm tying this all back into, like, one event that me and you both attended this year, which is a beautiful thing, and I can't wait for next year's Family and Friends Fest.
Yes.
And that right
that?
Come home around about that time.
Exactly.
Tell
Yes.
Keisha to buy your ticket, and that is
Right.
when you take your vacation to come home.
Yes.
And during that couple of weeks that you're
Man,
here,
we
you
had a
experience
blast.
summer, and oh my God, Tent Ward next year is gonna be
Oh, we had
insane.
so much fun.
We had
I
so
think
much fun.
I have had the most fun like in 2025.
I
I'm
think
talking
I
about
did too.
socially, just being in my recovery. That I'm like, it gotta get better. It gotta get, I'm like, because we had a pretty dope year.
I honestly say
We had a
this
pretty dope
year
year.
socially, yeah, I have to agree with you. This was probably my best year socially
Yeah.
because I really was trying a lot of new things.
Mhm.
Like around about the 10 days I was outside from my birthday, I actually went to the symphony. Now I hadn't been to the symphony in years. You know,
Mhm.
I'm a Mozart baby. So I
Mhm.
grew up going to the symphony, Bach, Beethoven,
I
Mozart,
like that.
like check. I used to always be there at the symphony. It was just my thing.
Mhm.
Okay. So this year, I went to the symphony because it was symphony in a movie.
Okay.
So they was
The Home
playing Home Alone
Alone.
2. Yeah, they
Home
were
Alone
playing Home
2.
Alone
Yeah.
2 while playing the movie, and the experience was different. And it wasn't
Mhm.
different as in like I could be at home and watch this movie and got the same experience, because after a while you get immersed in it that you forget that it's a live symphony really playing this
Mhm.
background music, but
Yeah.
you into the movie. But it was the experience to watch it that way that I was gonna go do The Godfather on New Year's Day, but I just didn't get out the bed.
Mhm.
Okay, I just did not get out the bed. You keep that.
I love those new, different
Yeah, just doing
experiences.
new and different things.
It triggers something different in your neural, cells, and now you're going to want to gravitate more towards different,
Right.
different events and things, and not the same thing. Because
Right.
sometimes that can become a little bit, just
Yeah,
boring at
like
times.
going to Brownstones on Wednesdays is a decompressor. But
Mm-hmm.
the one thing, and this is not a knock on Brownstone, but with me making my own career change recently, I don't need to decompress as much as I used to.
Okay, that's good.
Like it's very good.
That's good.
Like, yeah, my job can be stressful, but I go from dealing with 60 dishoused people to 10 people who just want to know how much money is in their mutual fund.
Right.
That's a completely different energy.
Mhm.
The only thing that stresses me about the job is I'm still new at it.
Right.
But other than that, the job as a whole is not stressful at all. So the need to decompress is not as much as it used to be.
Mhm.
Like I got off of work at 3 o'clock today.
Mhm.
I can't remember last time I got off of work at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Just randomly, I'm like, damn, it's 3 o'clock. Do I go to brunch now? Do I go to happy hour? Like that, and I was joking with my friends. I was like, damn, normally I go to Brownstone at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, but now I can go to Brownstone for happy hour and still make it to the studio on time to do what I got to do. So like the change is different, and it's good, and I like that. I like that for us.
Yes,
We experience new things
together too. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get back to your sobriety.
Okay.
Okay. In an interview, you highlighted the vision of a sobriety lounge. You wanted to create a lounge that was catered to those people who are trying to deal with their sobriety. One, where are we at in regards to that?
Okay.
So hold on. I'm not done. There's more to this question.
Okay.
And two, being in Milwaukee, a city that's famous for its bars, how much of your social connections are currently depending on alcohol or alcoholic substance? So let me rephrase that for you, because Chat GPT, they had to get fancy with it. Where we at with Sober Lounge, because that's what I labeled it in my phone. That's a Sober Lounge. Right. And being in a city where alcohol consumption is so major, you already touched on this, that they're opening and being a little bit more open-minded to the non-alcoholic concept. Do you think something like a Sober Lounge could thrive in this city?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I say yes because the culture is definitely changing. I've seen it, you've seen it, the community sees it, world sees it, However, we know that the culture changes often.
Right.
When people start working on themselves, then what happened? Things change,
Right.
So and when we're talking about revenue and money and all of that, that becomes a huge major thing. Now, people are making changes, but the money still got to be made.
Right.
Now, I would say no, because you will have to collaborate with other organizations, or I wouldn't say establishments,
right,
and provide that inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are not familiar with inclusion. You know what I mean? So that's something that I've kind of been teaching over the years about how important it is to provide that inclusion for people who are choosing not to drink at that moment in time.
Right.
You know, and I think that's important because you have people that are pregnant, people who are on certain medications and they can't drink, people who just are on a lifestyle change, you know, but they still want to be included in the social scene and the event and all of that. So you still have to have that collaboration with those other partners where alcohol is still offered. However, it gives people the choice, their choice to make. It still gives people the lead in their whatever their sobriety journey is, you know, and not strictly taking it away, you know. And I think that's where I could see something like that happening for Milwaukee. And I think Tropic and a lot of establishments are actually providing a lot of inclusion, you know.
Because the reason why I brung this one up, because it was something that was definitely on my mind. Because like you say, we live in a city where there's more bars per square feet than there are churches. Okay. And in some cases they buy right by each other. You know, I can go to liquor store, bar. It's literally can be that small. So something to have an establishment that is 100% dedicated to sober life, I think it'd be more so about how you market it. And like you said, who you partner with for inclusions, because sober life could literally be something that is immediately used as a step out the door when you're leaving rehab. Like you still want to social because you just made this major milestone and you got over this addiction. But now let's work with you in regards to the next step, which is the wellness and the socialization.
And that's what I've actually been creating is how that would tie into that, because that is definitely needed. Yeah. Because when you take something away that you utilize to fill a void for so long, right? You got to replace it with something healthy, you know. And wellness is one of those things, and you see a lot of that now in the community. There's a lot of different wellness events. And also, too, I'm just going to say this. I've been able to create spaces and events for individuals who live, you know, in sobriety where they can feel comfortable, you know. And not only that, I share my journey and how I navigate in certain spaces. And I'm open and I'm very honest about what I'm feeling and all of that and the tools that I utilize, too. So also for an individual, they just have to take lead in their situation. Take the lead and be bold in who you are and what you're doing in that moment. If you know you're going to go to this event and you're not going to drink, you need to walk in that. You know, you
do got to stand on business about yourself.
Yep.
About yourself. Okay. You think you're going to try to do the sober lounge in Phoenix?
I actually have a few ideas. Because I know some people that know some people. So
because the hydration bar in Phoenix sound like it'll hit.
Yeah. So I'm actually I'm still creating this drink, the one that I've been working on since Rise MKE. So
look,
I'm still working on it. I wanna I'm such a perfectionist.
Oh, you were supposed to be in cohort 10.
Listen,
God, I just thought about that.
Oh, God had other plans.
Oh.
But it's okay.
You still Cloud 9.
Yeah.
You still part of Cloud 9.
That's what I told Jonna. I'm still on Cloud 9, so it's cool.
That's cool. I'll make you a Cloud 9 TDR shirt.
Yeah, please do.
Did you come to the graduation?
Yes, I did.
So you seen mine. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I'll make you one just like that.
Okay.
Yeah, Cloud 9 in the back of it. I might give you mine because that show don't wear it. All right. So you admitted this earlier, you're the oldest of 6 siblings and a grandmother.
Yes, I'm a grandmother. I look good.
You look good.
Yes,
okay.
I'm a grandmother.
You've always been the go-to individual. Okay. How do you balance solving other people's problems while maintaining your own peace?
Oh, we.
Because you a grandma now.
Yeah. Um, I've had some situations over the last couple of months because like
How
people
did
pulling on you.
how is that? Is they coming with you?
No.
So how are no? Let's stop. How are you going to handle being away from your grandchild?
So okay.
Because I know, because next to that dog, that your grandbaby is usually the only other person in a lot of your
Yes,
photos.
of course. It's gonna be hard
Okay.
because I'm gonna miss a lot of her like her
Her first.
yeah, her first of everything. And but as long as she remembers who I am, and then I'm gonna come and visit all the time.
You a
So
grandma. You can buy
and
you can buy her love.
I'm a young grandmama.
You can
It's
buy
time
her
for me to,
love easily.
right. And then
Your daddy say you can't have that here.
right, and it's
You
time
need
for me to live my
$50
life.
here. You do need to live your life.
It's time for me to live. I raised kids. Now it's time for me to live mine. So, but yeah, I think my daughter is gonna take. She's been taking it hard,
The one that came to your book signing?
Yes, my daughter.
She not coming with you?
No. She has to finish school, so she's in nursing school right now.
Okay.
And
she can't transfer out there to Arizona?
She can.
The UW?
I need her to just give me a year to get myself together.
Okay.
Get settled. I want to.
Is she staying on campus?
No. She has her own place. Okay. Yeah, she has her own place. She's independent, great mom. Yes. Okay. On her business. Yeah. My baby is definitely her mama.
Okay. Proud of her.
Yes.
You go. All right. What's that up there? What time are we at? Okay, we've been doing this for a while. Okay. What's the difference between learning to love yourself and simply accepting yourself?
Oh, learning to love yourself. Listen, I actually,
because the reason why I asked this question, because like we talked about earlier, I've seen you glow up.
Yes,
I've seen you, and I'm gonna use Mikhail word. I've seen you glow up.
Yes.
Okay. So you definitely love yourself more so than accepting who you were. Because when you were going through your sobriety and you're coming on the end, and you were probably at maybe 750 days sober, you were just accepting the new you. But now you loving the new you.
I love this new me. I am experiencing something new about myself every day.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. And sometimes I kind of get it confused when I'm feeling a certain type of love, like energy from people.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that it's them making me feel some type of way, but it's really me just setting a boundary and loving myself. Exactly. And I'm not just accepting anything from anybody. Like the way I move, the way I talk, the way that I those expectations that I have out of people, like it comes back to me in the way that I present it.
Right.
And so I just realized that I'm receiving the love that I'm like giving to myself.
Have you found yourself shifting your boundaries with certain individual because of this newfound self-love? Because self-love is the best love.
Yes. I actually had a situation where I love to spend time by myself. Like my solo time.
I am guilty of that too.
My solo time is so important to me. And I would go out by myself because sometimes I just don't feel like peopling. Like I don't feel like, people have their things and then I have my things, and then we get together and then we're having these conversations, and now I gotta sit in the emotion, and I just want to live life and listen to the music and have a great time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So some people may not understand that, because I would choose to be by myself and kick it by myself and go experience new things by myself, because now I don't have to hold space or because sometimes people drain your energy, especially when your energy is like I know how my energy is.
We are empaths.
Man.
Okay, we don't even have to be interacting with you. You could just be negative energy over there.
And now I feel it.
And now we at home heavy for no reason.
Exactly. I don't like it. So for me, I would go out and I would have a really good time by myself. And most of the time you're going to see me by myself. And I'm not one of those individuals that I'm like clicky click. I know this person, that person, we gonna kick it, but I'm gonna move around and go talk to this person and go over here,
Right.
So yeah. What's up?
I love the new you.
Thank you.
The old you was dope too, but I love the new you.
Listen, nothing compared to this Tashima today, because
The new you.
this girl on fire.
You are. This girl is on fire. Let me quit.
But I also really think that it has a lot to do with the people that God have like blessed me with in my life. Like I am connected to some of the most dopest individuals. They inspire me. Y'all inspire me.
Thank you. I try.
Me, doing major things, always coming up with a great idea, always validating me. We validate each other, we support each other, we pray. Like it's God he did his thing when he sent me my people. And they're not just right here. They're scattered around, and I know some of everybody, and I just love everybody.
Okay. I'm a beautiful soul, so
yes,
definitely when I'm in the space and place, if you still in a bad mood, that's on you.
Yeah,
because I'm never gonna if you my peoples, I'm gonna make sure you good.
Yeah.
You want to hear fun fact? My album originated from the fact that one of my friends said I write the most beautiful good morning messages, and they always come right on time. Like they not like anything sexual or anything. They literally just like great positive moments that always comes right on time. And I guarantee you at least 4 to 5 people every single time I feel like just sending one out to them, they always say, oh my God, I needed that. So I sat down and I took all of my messages that I've sent one particular person, and about 10 of the songs on the albums come from those messages.
Wow.
That's why if you notice, the title of some of the songs are Good Morning Text, The Morning After, The Morning Glow. Yeah. Like they're all tied to
breakfast. One was some breakfast, right?
Yeah. But the album that's out is not the whole album.
Okay.
There is another version of the album that is.
Right. I bet you back in the day you wrote a mean note.
Okay, so since we here, this is my show, and this is the first time of the year. This is actually the first time I'm actually publicly talking about the album. I made it and I just put it out. I didn't really promote it like that. I dropped it to people who I wanted to hear. I put it on all social medias and all platforms, so you can find it on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. It's actually searchable on Facebook. So if you're ever making a post, you can literally just type Mr. Tone Deaf and find any one of all my tracks are there. Okay. And both versions of Black Women is a whole fucking vibe.
You sent me the whole album.
Yeah. So a lot of people got the whole album before the public got the album. Yeah. And I just released it on like December 21st for no reason. I was at the Ugly Sweater party and I literally was gone off of 2 Long Islands when I opened my phone and it told me your album is out. I was like, damn,
that's exciting.
Like my album is out.
Right.
Like, I was geeked at that.
Screenshot.
I didn't have to because the album was always for me.
Okay.
That was the thing. So I have this creative bucket list. So about 5 years ago, I lost my creative smile, as I like to say, where I was just going through the motion. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to create like I used to. And my boy Jamal, aka Maul himself, or Maul Napoleon, depending on what year of his rap career you ever came across him, I did an interview with him one day. He had dropped very personal album, and I sat down and I listened to it, and I did an interview with him. I sat here, he sat there, and we literally went song for song about what each one meant. And we got to talking about how when we used to work at Wells Fargo together, me, him, and our other boy Kev would literally sit there and we would just write. We would write songs, we would write bars, we would write poems, we would just write. And when I tell you I had notebooks on top of notebooks, but after my car accident that messed up my grill, I didn't feel like talking. I didn't feel like being on the mic. I didn't feel like being in front. So for majority of my TDR life, I would always be behind the scene. I have a whole podcast with my brother, and people would rarely see me on camera.
Yeah, I didn't start seeing you on camera until
Probably like last year.
it was last year.
Yeah.
And I think you would say things in the background, but then you would start coming.
Right.
You know.
So then I got out from behind the camera. I'm like, niggas is gonna say what niggas is gonna say. You're gonna talk. I would see people, like, the video would be up. It'll be a dope ass clip. People are just like loving the comment, and they're responding to it. And there'll always be some asshole that would make a comment about, the girl. I was like, well, fuck you. I don't care. Delete the comment, keep moving. That's the beautiful thing of the world. You can just delete it and move on.
Yeah, see, I think that's if a lot of us can get past that, not caring about what people gonna talk anyway.
They talk regardless.
Right.
So I had put on my list. See, now I gotta cut this. You outside?
Yeah.
All right, give me like 5 minutes. I'll be down there.
All right.
Yep. That's my 8 o'clock show.
I just want to share a little bit. You got time?
Go for it.
Okay. So I just want to share just a little bit of the testimony of like how I got okay, so everybody know that I'm moving to Phoenix, Arizona.
You said it early in the episode.
Yes, so I'm moving this Saturday.
Yes.
And how the position and everything came about. So I've been at the VA today for 19 years.
What?
So today is my anniversary date. Thank you. And my plan was that I was going to retire at 20 years. So
which would have been next year.
Right. So when I turned 40, which is this year, I was going to put in my retirement and all of that, but God had another plan.
Oh, you had the same job since you were 20.
Yes, but different positions, of course. You
wasn't able to drink yet, and you was at this job.
Yes.
It's somebody I know that work at the VA. I got to ask if you know her, but keep going.
And so I was in school. I went to Concordia, and I was studying healthcare management, and we had to write about a program that our current employer, department that we want to revamp.
Right.
And I had already worked in a lot of different departments. And one of the things that I had noticed is that there was a disconnect between the veterans understanding and knowing what resources are readily available to them and what they can utilize to better themselves and with their career and their life. So I wrote about this program, and I talked about when the veterans come back into the civilian life and the difficulty of receiving their benefits and things like that. So I've been working in compensation for 3 years now. And I wrote about this position, which is the vocational rehabilitation counselor that I will be. Yes, I'll be a counselor. And I was at work on a Friday, and I seen the recruitment email come through, and I'm looking at the email, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, I forward it to my personal email, and then I go home and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the job description, and I say, this sounds like me all day. This sounds like the position that I wrote about from my paper, from my practicum paper when I was in college, So I'm like trying to search for the paper, couldn't find the paper and nothing, right? So I started applying for all of the positions because they had them all over. They had Phoenix, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Milwaukee, Chicago, Atlanta. So I'm applying for all of them.
You're not wrong.
And I get called for 3 interviews. One was for Phoenix, one was for Atlanta, and the other one was from Milwaukee.
The Atlanta one would have been dope.
Right. Nah, I don't want to live in Atlanta. No. And so what happened was, I'm gonna make it quick. I already wanted to move to Phoenix. I didn't know why. God had planted the seed a year or so ago. Okay. And that's a whole nother story. And I just didn't know. I'm like, why do I feel so pulled to go to Phoenix? Right. And I've never been there. I don't know nothing about it, Right. And all of a sudden, the first interview I had was Phoenix, the one for Phoenix. I did terrible. And it was a virtual interview. I did terrible because my anxiety was all over the place. I was nervous. I was stuttering and everything. But then when I started to talk about my faith, that's when I started talking about my faith.
And that's when you balanced out.
Exactly, right? And then I had the other interviews. I didn't get those, but Phoenix was the first place
to call you back.
To call me back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I was really shocked about it. because this is a big move. I'm talking about, it's not like no little promotion.
So here's just to round it off. Here's the one thing that I want you to take with you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever room that you want to get in, if they're willing to listen to you, you already supposed to be in that room.
Exactly.
So the simple fact that Phoenix still wanted to do an interview with you, they probably already had their mind made up. They just need to go ahead and confirm. Because like you said, you've already wrote about this before. So somewhere in your application, when you filled it out, you said all the right things that made them be like, she gets it. Now we just need to know, when can you move here?
Yeah.
When can you start? And what do you need from us?
Right.
And that's literally what it was. So when you added your faith into that, and the fact that God guided you there, that means that you actually that means you're going to care about the job. See, a lot of people don't want you to talk about religion in your job, but a lot of people are tied to religion. So if they see that you have a strong faith, that means you have a belief, that means you care. Caring and those soft skills is really what most jobs are looking for people. We can teach you everything else. So that's why what we talked about earlier that may be missing from you, it didn't matter, because the most important parts that we can't teach that you've gotten from 19 years of doing this job is why you're here.
Yes. And I spoke about my sobriety in the interview. And
that means you ain't never coming to work drunk. So they ain't got to worry about that. So, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this show up. I have nothing but high hopes for you, and greatness will come from this role. And I know you're going to change the world. And whenever I decide to go visit my sisters, I'm definitely going to make sure that we get together and you act as my Phoenix tour guide. Bring the bae with you too, so he don't think nothing's going on. But with that being said, make sure you check us out on all streaming platforms. That's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever else you listen to your podcast at. Make sure you go check out snacoaching.com. I'm telling you, the best thing you could do for you is at least get that one-on-one consultation. Because if you see the way we talk here, just imagine how we're going to talk when we have our one-on-one in regards to it. Because I'm going to help you be a better person. And follow Tashima everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. Tashima Dean, Coach Miss T, Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, you are Coach Miss T.
Yes, I'm a recovery resilience coach.
You're Coach Miss T, and I'm Coach Mr. T. Now I want to be Mr. T. That got a whole another thing. I'm Coach Tony. Okay. I'm Coach Tony. I'm going to help you get your business together. So if you lost your job because you were drinking, book both of us. Okay. With that being said, we are out of here, people. Peace.